My name is Jagan Mohan, School Assistant of English. Flying is always an exciting imagination for the mankind. However, man can't fly. But then, birds can fly. To get his thirst quenched for flying, man invented an aeroplane. Here, I would like to deal with the lesson, 2 stories about flying. The first story is his first flight. This is the story of a seagull and how its journey of flying gets started. In the second story, Black Aeroplane, a pilot's plight on a stormy day will be discussed. Let's go through an overview of the lesson.
Overview of the lesson comprises, before you read, reading text 1, thinking about the text, speaking, writing, reading text 2, thinking about the text. Now, we move on to learning objectives. Learning objectives. By the end of this module, you will be able to analyze why the young birds like seagull afraid to fly. Describe how the young seagull overcomes his fear of flying. State the roles played by the seagull's father, mother, and siblings in making the young seagull fly. Identify the challenges faced by the narrator in flying the aeroplane. Discuss how the narrator gets survived from the storm. Predict the narrator's dreaded experience in flying. The title of the lesson is 2 Stories About Flying. In this lesson, we are going to learn 2 stories. The first story is his first flight, written by Liam O'Flaherty, and the second story is titled Black Aeroplane, written by Frederick Forsyth. About the author of his first flight, Liam O'Flaherty. Liam O'Flaherty wrote the story His First Flight. He was an Irish novelist and short story writer and one of the foremost socialist writers in the first part of the 20th century. He wrote about the common people's experience and from their perspective. The Sniffer, The Informer, etc. are some of his best literary works. He was born on 28 August 1896 and died on 7 September 1984. About the author of Black Aeroplane, Frederick Forsyth. Frederick Forsyth wrote the story Black Aeroplane. Born on 25 August 1938, he emerged as a renowned English novelist and journalist. He is best known for thrillers such as The Day of the Jackal, The Odisha Five, The Fourth Protocol, The Cobra, and The Dogs of War. By 2006, Forsyth had sold more than 70 million books in more than 30 languages. Before you read, dear students, here some of the beautiful birds have been given. Can you identify the bird seagull? Yes, you are absolutely correct. The bird is in the 4th picture. Here, various means of transport are there. They are an aeroplane, a train, a ship, and a bus. Here the question is that which is the fastest mode of transport? You are absolutely correct. Aeroplane is the fastest mode of transport. Since the earliest times, humans have dreamt of conquering the skies. Here are 2 stories about flying. First question. A young seagull is afraid to fly. How does he conquer his fear? Second question. A pilot is lost in storm clouds. Does he arrive safe? Who helps him? My dear children, do you want to know the stories? Now, let me narrate the stories. Reading text 1. Two stories about flying is the lesson's name. Here, reading text 1, his first flight is being narrated. The young seagull was alone on his ledge. His two brothers and his sister had already flown away the day before. He had been afraid to fly with them because he feared that his wings wouldn't support him while flying. Reading text 1 continues. The young bird could not muster up the courage to take up the plunge as he did not trust his wings. Although his parents warned him he would starve unless he flew away, their attempts went in vain. One day, the whole family flew to a big plateau and taunted the young seagull for his cowardice. As the sun rays blazed on the ledge, he could feel the heat and had been starving since the previous nightfall. Reading text 1 continues. The seagull begged his mother to bring him some food. He uttered a joyful scream when his mother quickly picked a piece of fish and flew across to him. Later, he felt his wings spread outwards and he was able to fly fearlessly. Finally, the seagull took his first flight and soared higher and skimmed through the waves and dived along with his siblings. The story highlights the importance of family and friends in one's life. The seagull's father, mother, and siblings encouraged him to learn flying. The story also gives the message that one needs to believe in oneself to overcome all the hurdles of own life. Dear students, here are a series of questions for you, and here goes the first question. How many brothers does the seagull have? A. 1, B. 3, C. 2, and D. 4. Yes, you are absolutely correct. The right answer is C. 2. Next question. Why had been the seagull afraid to fly? A. Because the seagull had no wings. B. Because the seagull had wings. C. Because he feared his wings wouldn't support him in flying. And D. None of the above. And the right answer here is C. Because he feared his wings wouldn't support him in flying. Let us proceed to the next question. What do you mean by skim? Options. A. To run. B. To walk. C. To move lightly just above a surface. And D. To move roughly just above a surface. There you are. The right answer here is to move lightly just above a surface. Here is one more question for you. What is meant by a ledge? Options. A. A wall. B. A table. C. A cliff. D. A house. You're right. The correct answer is C. A cliff. Dear children, here is a speaking task for you. We have just read about the first flight of a young seagull. Your teacher will now divide the class into groups. Each group will work on one of the following topics. Prepare a presentation with your group members and then present it to the entire class. First one, progression of models of airplanes. Second task, progression of models of motor cars. Third one, birds and their wingspan. And the fourth one, migratory birds. And the fourth one, migratory birds tracing their flights. Now we switch to writing task. Writing. Write a short composition on your initial attempts at learning a skill. You could describe the challenges of learning to ride a bicycle or learning to swim. Make it as humorous as it possible. Here is a model for you. While I was learning bicycle, I moved backward instead of forward. Seeing my plight, my friends laughed at me. My dear children, based on this model, you can prepare more number of models of your own elaboratedly. Reading text 2, Black Aeroplane. Written by Frederick Forsyth, it is a mysterious story that revolves around a pilot. The pilot, who wants to enjoy a wholesome breakfast with his family, decided to fly from France to England. On his way to England, he came across storm clouds that looked like black mountains. However, he flew through the clouds and realized that everything around him had turned completely black. Eventually, he lost his control of the plane. Reading test 2 continues. Strangely, he noticed that there was another airplane with no lights on its wings. The pilot of the plane waved his hands and signaled him to follow. He blindly followed the pilot and finally landed safely on the runway with the help of the other pilots. Reading text 2 continues. Upon landing, he inquired at the reception about who was the other pilot who helped him in such a critical situation, as he wanted to thank him for saving his life. But the woman in the control center told him that there was no other airplane in the night sky other than his airplane. The story Black Aeroplane offers two divergent messages. The first one is, one needs courage and bravery to bail out of one's difficulties. Secondly, you should not risk the lives of others to fulfill your dreams. My dear students, here are a series of questions for you on reading text 2. The first question is for you. I'll take the risk. What is the risk? A. To go to England. B. To go to Paris. C. To go to Russia. And D. To go to Egypt. You're absolutely correct. The right answer here is to go to England. Here is one more question for you. Why did the woman laugh at him? Options. A. Because his explanation was ridiculous. B. Because he cracked a joke. C. Because he appeared funny. D. Because he dressed awkwardly. Splendid. The right answer is because his explanation was ridiculous. Here is one more question for you. What do you mean by frightened? A. Delighted. B. Scared. C. Amazed. And D. Worried. There you are. The right answer here is scared. Be scared. One more question is for you. What do you mean by storm? A. Danger. B. Cyclone. C. Accident. And D. Storm. That's fine. The correct answer is B. Cyclone. Summary of his first flight. The young seagull was alone on his edge. His brothers and sisters had already flown away a day before. He was afraid to fly because he feared that his wings wouldn't support him in flying. His parents forced him to fly, but their attempts went in vain. Finally, he understood the need to fly. He was able to fly fearlessly. Thus, he took his first flight. And now, summary of Black Airplane. The pilot who wants to enjoy a wholesome breakfast with his family decided to fly from France to England. However, the storm clouds on his way made him lose control of the plane. He noticed that there was another airplane with no lights on its wings. The pilot of another plane waved him to follow. Finally, the pilot landed safely on the runway. My dear children, here are assessment questions for you. Assessment questions from his first flight. How many members does the seagull's family have? A. 3. B. 4. C. 6. D. 5. You are amazing. The right answer is C. 6. Here is one more question for you. The young seagull was afraid of A. Flying. B. Sleeping. C. Dancing. And D. Eating. You are absolutely correct. The right answer is A. Flying. Next question. What do you mean by derisively? A. Mockingly. B. Respectfully. C. Harshly. And D. Cruelly. Splendid. The right answer is mockingly. One more question is here. Why did the seagull cry? A. Because he can't fly. B. Because of flying. C. Because his parents scolded him. And D. Because of heat and hunger. You are correct. The right answer is D. Because of heat and hunger. Here is yet another interesting question. What do you mean by wet? Options. A. To strengthen. B. To tighten. C. To move slowly. D. To sharpen. You are absolutely correct. The right answer is D. To sharpen. Next question. How did the seagull know he made his first flight? A. His legs sank in green sea. B. His beak sank in green sea. C. His belly sank in green sea. And D. His belly did not sink in green sea. There you are. The right answer is D. His belly did not sink in green sea. And now, assessment questions from Black Airplane. First question is here. What did the pilot want to have with his family? A. Lunch. B. breakfast, C. brunch, and D. dinner. Amazing! The right answer is B. breakfast. Next question. What is the number of Dakota airplane? A. DS-058, B. DS-078, C. DS-068, and D. DS-088. And the right answer here is DS-088. Here is one more question for you. I was glad to see another person. Who was that person? A woman, B. a pilot, C. his brother, and D. a doctor. You're absolutely correct. The right answer here is B. a pilot. Next question. Who do you think actually helped the pilot? A. none. It's just pilot's hallucination. B. the god. C. the woman. And D. another pilot. The right answer here is A. none. It's just pilot's hallucination. Learning outcomes. At the end of this module, you have been able to analyze why the young birds like seagull afraid to fly. Describe how the young seagull overcomes his fear of flying. State the roles played by the seagull's father, mother, and siblings in making the young seagull fly. Identify the challenges faced by the narrator in flying the aeroplane. Discuss how the narrator gets survived from the storm. Predict the narrator's dreaded experience in flying. Try to write a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Frederick Forsyth.